Hello guys, this is GQ Talks Football. We have a whole lot of things to talk about. I'll pick them one after the other. We're talking about the sanction, or should I say, the punishment that has been given to Enzo Fernandez, and then of almost his imminent replacement in Valentin Barco. As it is right now, he has signed. And then today you also be having your match preview with Port Vale versus Chelsea, the FA Cup clash at 7:15 or 17:15 p.m. GMT time, which is 14:15 p.m. the UK time. So straight into things, I want to talk about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez have making round of news these days, and I think right now that's because Enzo Fernandez happened to be one of the players who has been vocal. He has been speaking his mind. We know that however smidgen it was, Malo Gusto spoke, Moises Caicedo spoke, Cole Palmer spoke, and of course, Marc Cucurella. But then, Enzo Fernandez is making rounds because he has been flirting around with Real Madrid. Objectively, I would not blame Enzo because a whole lot of mess has been happening at Chelsea under this ownership, BlueCo. You can't blame him for wanting to put his career in front. If he were to be my brother, and if it were to be me, I might only be biased because I'm a Chelsea fan, and I want to just sit it through to see that my club comes back to how it has always been, But if I want to be selfish, so to speak, or if I weren't an actual true Chelsea fan, best believe I'll put my career in front. So this guy is only doing what almost every normal human being will do. You and I will probably do the same thing. Yes, he's been flirting around Real Madrid, and now the Chelsea hierarchy has banned him for 2 matches. His own agent has come and has, reacted to this ban, that he doesn't understand why Chelsea will make such a decision, against his client. And it said objectively, yes, his client was asked the question what other city he would like to leave, and then he was mentioning Madrid being the likes of Buenos Aires, that it looks like a city, talking about the food and the people, that he doesn't see anything wrong with that. And that when he was asked about his future at Chelsea, he said they will see what will happen come the end of the season after the World Cup. Now, objectively, what he said, to be fair, there's absolutely nothing wrong. But we know that that is him putting himself out there for Real Madrid to sign him. But let's look at it this way. Rodri at Manchester City made a similar response in an interview about Real Madrid. But guess what City did? They went ahead and gave him a new deal. They gave him a new deal. Rodri has renewed his contract with Man City. And now they turned something that was supposed to be a feud, a crisis, into strength. They've quietened the whole thing. And now this same City will be the team we're facing next in the Premier League. Their players spoke about Real Madrid. They went ahead and renewed his contract. Our own player flirted about Real Madrid. We are giving him a match ban. One of the senior players of the team. And we're meeting this Manchester City team next in the Premier League. Are you seeing the contrast of conflict resolution skills when it comes to both clubs? This ownership, I think, they don't know a thing about footballing. I think they actually bought the wrong football club to begin with. I feel so pained that this ownership, who decided want to go into footballing business, came to buy Chelsea. They should have bought a team like Southampton or Burnley or even this Port Vale we're playing against. Not one of the top teams in Europe like Chelsea. They are messing things around. Rodri made a complaint. They renewed his contract. Enzo made similar, although he was flirting, and they gave him a two-match ban. Two-match ban. Yes, they are not trying to paint Enzo to be the villain. They're making him appear so bad so that by the time they lay him off, the Chelsea fans will see him as a terrible person or a bad person so that they will make peace with the whole, sales of the player. But you and I know these people are trying to play on our intelligence. I don't know if they think we're fools. I honestly don't know. Is it that because they are billionaires, they think, okay, the football fans, let's just, sell out any ideas, pouring out all forms of PR, and then we'll just swallow anything that comes our way. Like we don't have senses on our own. Like we don't have any idea when it comes to football. Our own is just to watch some adults on the pitch kick balls from right to left and center. That's all we know. They're just spitting on our faces. And then right under our noses, while we're still even in quotes debating on this, looking at what's going to be the outcome of this, they're already getting in a replacement for Enzo in the person of Valentin Barco. Believe me, there's already a pre-contract arrangement, and then come June, Valentin Barco is a Chelsea player. We're talking about reinforcement, and not just reinforcement. We're talking about experienced players, and they're getting us Valentin Barco. Don't quote me wrong. If not in the context of how things are right now at Chelsea, Valentin Barco is actually a decent player. The likes of Bayern Munich, Dortmund, and some other top clubs who actually wants his signature. But is Valentin Barco the right player that we need right now under the circumstances we found ourselves? We lack physicality in the Chelsea team. We lack height. And we lack a good goalkeeper. We lack a good attacker. All respect to João Pedro. Fantastic player. One of our best players this season. Most likely, Delap is going to be leaving. Probably for a loan or an actual sale. I don't know. Emega is one they're looking into bringing, who had barely had some, playing time at Strasbourg. We have other departments that we need to strengthen. Now they're letting go of Enzo and bringing a supposed replacement in Valentin Barco. With all respect to Valentin Barco, I have no personal beef with him. With what he has done this season, he has transformed himself into a good, deep-sitting playmaker. Amazing. Amazing. But is he the solution right now in the midfield? Most likely it's going to be in the pivot with Moises Caicedo after the exit of Enzo. We have Santos for now, who most likely will be going to Manchester United because they are still on his radar. Can we put our minds on Lavia, who's like a biscuit bone, with all respect to him? Play 2 weeks and then he's off again for several months. So there are some other decent, great players that Chelsea can go for, but what are we doing? It's most likely Enzo is leaving because right now they're trying to use other journalists, PR, and other stuff to make it look like, oh, he's a villain. At the same time, he's available for sale. Because right now, Romano is saying that he's not going to go for 60 or 70 million. That's Chelsea indirectly saying that we're not saying we want to sell him. We're not mentioning any amounts. But best believe if you want to come for him, 60, 70 will not cut the deal. Probably they're looking at if we bring 100, then we can come to the round table and have a discussion. Am I a big fan of Enzo in the first place? Not exactly. But I don't think he has been doing so bad as a leader. He has been more vocal than Reece James. James is a cool, sweet guy, yeah? But personally, when it comes to the leadership role, I actually don't think he's doing so well. I see someone like even Levi Colwill doing better in terms of being, outspoken as compared to Reece James. Enzo was being blamed for shouting at Jorgensen for the nonsense he was doing during the PSG game. And they're trying to feel like he's shouting at his teammates, he's doing anyhow, talking this or that at the dressing room. What has happened to football? Do this ownership know anything about football? Have they seen JT or Lambs or DJ screaming their lungs out when things are going south? Have they seen them? So what has Enzo actually done that they're criticizing him? This is exactly what is happening even to our football today, that we don't see players expressing themselves. We don't see players doing, show bottling anymore. Nobody is free to express himself. The football itself has become systemic, manufactured, and robotic. And that's because football entirely right now has become business. As a player, if you do what you're not asked to do, be rest assured that you're going to be benched in the next game. See the FA game, they call the Carabao Cup of Man City against Arsenal, when Ryan Cherky was, showballing towards the end of the game, dazzling the ball and everything. You need to see the facial expression of Pep Guardiola. He was sad, he wasn't happy. And a few minutes after he was taken off that game, even though Manchester City they were leading. They were leading. So right now, players cannot express themselves. Players cannot, be free, so that we, the fans, can enjoy football. Right now, we won't watch football just only for the goals, just to want to win. A coach is afraid that if you are doing showboating and you're showing some skills, you're playing for yourself, expressing yourself, and since results are going south, be rest assured that that coach is going to be sacked in a couple of games. So they are also protecting their job. So right now, football in its entirety is becoming something else. It's becoming something else. So right now, a whole lot is happening to football that we all need to talk about. So Chelsea fans, Valentin Barco right now is as good as a Chelsea player. Expect to see him walk right through the door come June, after probably the World Cup, yeah? So he has actually had this contract signed for Chelsea. So he's already a Chelsea player. Like, if he had any choice, he was already under the model Strasbourg. He's already under the system, so even Bayern Munich doesn't stand a chance. So that's it. Valentin Barco is already like the replacement for Enzo, because Enzo, remember in my previous videos I was saying that it's going to be a miracle to see Enzo still be in Chelsea come next season. And I would not be shocked to see other players walking right out the door, especially if we don't make Champions League. Even though right now, they're making it look like, oh, if we win the FA Cup, we stand a chance of, making Champions League come next season. So what will other teams be doing? Manchester City is playing Liverpool today, I think less than 40 minutes from now, by my time. So what will happen to Arsenal and the rest? So they will just come and then, be ball watching, yeah? And allow us just win the FA Cup. It's football. 90 minutes to say it all. But with what we're seeing, with these players not being ready to play under Liam Rossini, it's a long call and actually a long shot. Personally, I'm already making my peace. They were not making Champions League for next season. I'm making my peace with that. A whole lot to talk about, like I said, because right now, the sanction on Enzo Fernandez, they're making it look like even Liam Rossini is in support, Win Sterling and Stewart and the entire hierarchy. But you and I know that Liam Rossini is not in support of that. It came from up above. Not even, Win Sterling and Stewart. I think from right above. And then the puppets, the directors, and Liam Rossini said, okay, fine. It's you people's money. You people bought the player in the first place. So that's it about Enzo Fernandez, his ban, his reaction from his agent, and then the signing of Valentin Barco. Now to the preview. I don't want to say so much about the preview. Whoever they want to put up on the lineup, we're done saying we're expecting this player, that player. We're done. Because even the coach, who is supposed to be the one to select players these days, is not even the one who picks the players. So who are we as YouTubers to come and say, oh, we expect this player, that player? The likes of Benoit, Tosin, Darabioyo, and the rest are the ones that will play, because Chalobah is still out injured. Fofana probably will be kept on the sideline in preparation for the City game. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Jorgensen gets on the in between the sticks even. So I don't care right now who's going to be lined up for the game against Port Vale. I really don't care. And I think we have given these players or this team a lot of benefit of that. I would not be shocked if we play a draw and even if Port Vale ends up winning us. But being a fan and trying to be, positive and optimistic, I'll go for my prediction for a 2-1 or most likely a 3-1 win against Port Vale. But I think that we'll concede because that pitch is horrible. And those players, the Port Vale players, they are used to their pitch. So they have nothing to lose. They are the underdogs. They will give it their all. So I think that at the end of the day, Chelsea will want to react or respond to the nonsensical games we've played from PSG to Newcastle to Everton. So maybe we're expecting a reaction, even though these players don't want to play for Liam Rossinier. So let's see what happens. That's it for today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about Valentin Barco. Is he a good signing for Chelsea? Is he a player we need right now? And do you see Enzo surviving this attack right now? Do you think he's still going to remain a Chelsea player after this? With this ban, I think that's the last straw. I think Enzo is as good as out of this Chelsea team. So tell me what you think. Follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, same as GQ Talks Football. Until next time, let peace reign in the world. One love. Peace out.